Eating Carnivore Ketovore for ADHD and all of its amazing health benefits? That's me. Let's see what I've eaten for a full 24 hours. Hey friends, I'm Heidi with Heavenly Minded Home and welcome back to our channel. Now I'm gonna share a little day in the life with you guys. This time a day in the life when it comes to my eating, everything that I consume for a 24-hour period. You know we love sharing with you all each and every day all the homey things. So from homemaking to homeschooling, home discipleship to homesteading, all with an eternal perspective as we live as citizens of heaven. And so excited to share this with you guys today. I love sharing about carnivore or ketovore, that way of eating. And I love sharing about it because it's been so helpful and so life-changing to our family. And so different aspects of kind of why we tried carnivore and why we're doing this. I have a playlist I'll link down below if you guys want a little more information on that. But today I'm really going to focus on what exactly I'm eating for a 24-hour window and why we're eating this. Eating carnivore has been huge for many different health benefits. Yes, I have lost a ton of weight. Yes, my skin is so much clearer. Yes, my hormones have been balanced. Yes, I now have regular cycles. Yes, all of my, just levels and everything looks great through doing carnivore. It's easy, it's simple, right? Like I'm seeing it so many benefits, but it's also hugely beneficial for those of us with ADHD. So we eat this way, our kids eat this way, and we've just seen so many wonderful benefits. The carnivore way of eating, or even ketovore, carnivore, we'll just kind of clarify this here. Carnivore is when you're staying strictly only animal products. So meat, lots of fats, and some dairy. That's strict carnivore. Where ketovore is over here, where maybe you are bringing in a few plant-based items. I stay really strictly carnivore for a few months, and then I have some kind of more plant-based foods that don't really bother my system that I'll kind of incorporate in for a few months, and then I'll kind of go back here and go strict. So I kind of stay somewhere in the happy medium. My husband, he does better if he stays strictly carnivore. I do pretty good staying ketovore. So just a little kind of difference there. Our whole family eats this way to various different degrees. Carnivore is great for those with ADHD. Carnivore and high fat meats does wonders for mental clarity. Removing grains and sugars is hugely beneficial for those, especially with ADHD. And so when we started making these changes as a whole family about a year and a half ago, we started seeing some great results out of just our mental clarity, focus, attention, behavior coming out of my children, especially my ADHD children. We started seeing huge differences. So carnivore, ADHD, I think they totally go hand in hand. It's so helpful, it's so beneficial. We like doing everything we can as natural as possible. I believe the Lord absolutely gave us what we need to care for ourselves, and so what I'm fueling my body with is really important with the results that I end up getting. And so what I'm eating, dealing with my ADHD, really big deal. So come hang out with me. I'm gonna share with you guys a full 24 hours of what I'm eating with a carnivore ketovore way of eating. I think it's so important to just kind of show you exactly what I consume all day long as a busy mama, 4 kiddos, homeschooling, homesteading, homemaking, doing all of the homey things. This is everything that I'm going to consume for the next 24 hours. And then be sure to watch through to the end, because I'll go ahead and clarify a couple details, what exactly I'm drinking, any snacks, desserts, things like that. And I'll go ahead and share with you guys a complete week's worth of carnivore meals to give you and your family some suggestions and ideas as maybe you're trying this out and looking to find a better way of fueling your bodies as you go throughout whatever it is that the Lord has put on your plate. So let's get into what I'm eating. So I personally do start every morning with a cup of coffee. I was really being diligent to eat something at the same time I drink coffee for a while, and then honestly I kind of just fell off. So for me, it's just a simple cup of coffee, nothing fancy, nothing crazy. I do like using a keto creamer called Super Creamer. It is my favorite. Unfortunately, I was out of it and didn't feel like going to the grocery store, and so today I just have a little bit of heavy whipping cream, and then I put a splash of agave nectar sweetener in it. Sometimes I do a sugar-free like caramel coffee syrup, but for me, just a simple cup of coffee is something that I enjoy every morning making, kind of starting my day off, and then I usually end up sitting down with my daughters and we kind of spend our time together while I enjoy a cup of coffee. Breakfast for us pretty much every single day is bacon and eggs. We are not that adventurous and crazy. This is what we eat, and this is where I open up my eating window. I don't eat anything. The creamer that I use in my coffee is very, very minimal. So technically, I guess it breaks my fast, but I use just a very small amount of it, so I don't really stress about it much. So then when we sit down to have our bacon and eggs, this is when I officially break my fast. I have my air fryer that I absolutely love. That's how we cook our bacon every single day. It makes it so much easier to just put a little olive oil on the tray, throw the bacon in there, it cooks while I scramble up some eggs. I'm actually not a huge egg fan. I don't really like eggs, so I do scrambled eggs with a little bit of very low sugar ketchup. Seasonings for us are pretty much the same every day. I'm very diligent to put lots and lots of Himalayan salt in everything that I cook and eat, but we also do a little bit of black pepper and this Tony's Famous Creole seasoning for a little bit of spice. We really enjoy that. I put a little bit of milk in here for the eggs to make them nice and creamy, and then I also put a few chunks of butter in the eggs to let that cook in with it, and I coat the pan in butter as well. So getting some nice fats there in my eggs as I scramble them up, and then of course some bacon. Every day I've been taking this grass-fed beef liver supplement. I really have been enjoying it. It's very affordable on Amazon. I will link it down below, and I've been seeing just great results. I had a couple things that I was trying to work on health-wise, and so loving these beef liver supplements. I love the time in the morning to just be in the kitchen cooking breakfast. Me and all of the kids eat it. My husband does not. He does one meal a day, so he skips our breakfast meal. But the kids and I every day will sit down and have our bacon and eggs together. And it's really just an enjoyable part of our morning routine before we sit down and do Bible. We just have our breakfast together. We all feel healthy and good afterwards. I do have a glass of milk with my breakfast. I drink like a small cup of coffee per day, maybe two some days, but I don't drink very much coffee. So bacon and eggs, that is us every single morning. Most always scrambled, but every once in a while I get a kiddo who requests a sunny side egg. So like today, we did have a bonus of that. For snacks, I usually keep lunch meat on hand and also some cheese. This is a quick go-to snack that you will catch our whole family from time to time popping into the fridge and grabbing some. We usually keep turkey, ham, salami, kind of whatever was on hand that sounded good, and we'll just grab out some pieces, maybe roll it up with some cheese or just eat the meat by itself. I also, since I eat more of a Ketovore, will keep some crunchy peanut butter on hand. I do love peanut butter, and some sugar-free dark chocolate chips for a little bit of a sweet tooth indulgence. Today for our main meal, we are having steak. We wish we could eat steak every single day, but we can't quite afford it. We make sure to season it really well with some pepper and Himalayan salt, and my husband loves cooking out on the grill. So today we are doing steak with a little bit of seasoning, and that's it. We don't do a bunch of side dishes. We don't have to bring in a bunch of extra things. Just take some steak, throw them out on the grill, and everybody is happy. We love having this kind of main meal in the day. We just eat later in the afternoon, and that's it for all of us. And then after I finish this meal, that kind of closes up my eating window. Our kids still really do love A1, and so they will quite often put a little bit of A1 on their plate. We try to make sure we're not eating too much though. I love mine covered in butter, so lots of butter or even some bacon on top of it is my favorite way to have my steak. And as a post-dinner dessert, I have been loving these Carb Smart bars. I've done many different carnivore style desserts, which we love, but summertime, I've been enjoying these for just a small little treat. That was all that I ate for the first part of the day that you saw, but completing this 24 hours of eating up the next morning, and yep, you guessed it, scrambled eggs with some bacon, a little bit of very low sugar ketchup, and a glass of milk. That is genuinely my each and every day. So 24 hours of carnivore, ketovore eating for our family. This is everything that I consumed yesterday, and for the most part, the family as a whole. As far as beverages go, water is your best friend. I am the person who always, my first response whenever anybody tells me of any sort of like ailment or pain, I go, how much water have you consumed? You want to be drinking lots and lots of water. Now, of course, you want to make sure that you're balancing your electrolytes. So something that you can do is you can simply just put some Himalayan salt into your water. I just kind of sprinkle a little bit in. It doesn't really affect the taste. I mean, kind of soup to taste. If it's too much, kind of dilute it down a little bit until you get used to it. Or there's also many different wonderful electrolyte enriched waters that you can get, packets you can add or whatever. We don't really get that fancy into it. Sometimes I will get a pack from Walmart just to have on hand, especially if I've been out working on the property and I'm like sweating a lot and I just need a little bit more. But otherwise, I mainly just make sure to use Himalayan salt on everything. I put it in my water. I use Himalayan salt on every meat that I consume. There's so many wonderful minerals in that, and so just kind of sprinkling a little bit on everything I have found keeps me feeling great. If I start having any cramps or things like that where I'm noticing my electrolytes might be a little bit low, I just add Himalayan salt and I'm feeling great in no time. So lots of water. As a special treat, we do love sparkling waters. So that's something that our house is very fond of. And then I love unsweet teas. I get this one if I want a little something that I just put in a cold cup of water. I really dilute my teas, so I don't drink them very strong. And then sometimes I'll just make myself a cup of green tea or something if I want, a hot tea. I love rooibos teas, so I will use teas quite often, and I just don't put any sweeteners in mine, and I enjoy them just the same. I do have a cup of coffee each day. If I am out of my keto creamer, like I was today, our store Ingles, they have a super keto creamer. I will try to link it down below if I can find it. That's my favorite. I love that creamer more than anything else. That is what I usually use. If not, I just go ahead and do a little bit of heavy whipping cream with maybe a splash of agave nectar for a treat. If I want an iced coffee, I'll do the same thing where I just do some iced decaf coffee out of my super amazing Ninja coffee pot here, and then I just put in a splash of heavy whipping cream with just a little squeeze of the agave nectar, and that's it. That's really the only drinks that I consume. I gave up soda years ago. I don't even touch those. I don't add sweeteners to things, minus that little tiny bit in my coffee. That's it. Those are all of the beverages that I consume. I will have a glass of wine. I do a very low sugar wine. And so if my husband and I are sitting down and I'm having, a glass of wine, I will have, a little glass of something like that. But that's it. Those are all my beverages. Like you saw in exactly what I ate over 24 hours, it's really not a lot of different things because the meals we eat are very filling. I am stuffed. I am good. My husband and I started intermittent fasting a few years ago, and we absolutely just love it. I feel so much better when I'm intermittent fasting. And so I usually have about a 5-hour eating window. We eat that like late breakfast you guys saw, and then our one main meal, where my husband leaves himself about a 1 to 2 hour eating window, and he just does 1 meal a day, and he feels best doing that. I like having a little something in the morning. I think because I drink coffee, having some protein to go along with it and eating that is really important. Where my husband isn't a coffee drinker, he has his 1 meal a day and he feels great. The kids, they have that breakfast with me, they have the 1 meal a day, and then we always make sure that we have something on hand, so that way if a little bit earlier or a little bit later they are still a little hungry or looking for something, they can make themselves, pull out some meat or grab some leftovers or make a little something for themselves. So there's always something on hand if they're looking for it, but otherwise my kind of like 5-hour eating window works really well, and then I'm fasting outside of that. So outside of my window, the only thing I would drink would be like water or an unsweetened tea, and I don't eat anything out of that. It really keeps me in check from snacking and just aimlessly wanting to eat stuff for no good reason. And I really do feel so much better inside and outside when doing that. I will also add that I no longer do any specific exercising. I probably should. I should probably do some like muscle toning and things like that, but I don't do anything specific. The only thing that I do is just to be active throughout my day. So we're busy on the homestead. We're out with the sheep. We've been putting up a fence this week. I'm playing with the kids. I'm walking down and, checking on animals or doing different things. I'm cleaning in the house. So we stay active and productive, but I have been amazed since really focusing on my eating. In a little over a month, I dropped over 20 pounds. It just fell off me like that. When I first started Carnivore, I dropped a lot of weight, and then it really plateaued for a while. A lot of times that happens because internally a lot of healing is needing to happen. Once that healing happened, all of a sudden weight just started falling off of me. And it's so amazing to just get back to that point where your body feels good. I don't care how much I weigh, I just want to feel comfortable in my own skin. And allowing this to kind of work and do its system has really been such a huge help to get to that place where I'm feeling so much better, inside and outside, without all of this exertion, all of this excess. I'm just doing life and doing the things that I want to be doing, and weight's falling off. I'm feeling better. Mental clarity is happening. I'm sleeping better. I'm not inflamed. My hormones are balanced. It kind of just happens. So if you guys are wanting some family-friendly ideas to a carnivore, ketovore way of eating, these are our family's top go-tos right now. First would be burger patties. We go through so many burger patties on a weekly basis. It's probably kind of crazy. What we do is we just get pre-made burger patties. You can get, I think it's a dozen for $10 at Walmart. We buy a few packs of those every single week, and we just put them out on the grill. I used to cook them in the air fryer, but my husband loves grilling, and so he just puts them on the grill and does it that way. Now, if you're staying strictly carnivore, you can do just the burger patty. If you want to add bacon or other meats or something on top of it, you can. You can just do the burger patties with some seasoning and maybe a small, I'm talking very small amount of a sauce, a very low sugar or no sugar sauce. You can put a little bit on it. If you're a little more ketovore like me, I will put a piece of lettuce, maybe a pickle, some tomatoes, any of those plant-based foods that maybe you've already processed through to see if your body responds negatively to them. I did that. I went completely carnivore for 90 days, and then I brought back in a few plant-based foods to see how my system did with them. I do just fine with lettuces, tomatoes, pickles, and so I will add that onto my burger patty. The second thing that we do a ton of is hot dogs with homemade beef chili. So we literally just cook all beef hot dogs on the grill, and then I make up a beef chili. So ground beef, chili seasoning, a little bit of tomato sauce, and that's it. We just cook that, let that simmer. This is one of our family's favorite things. We all will put hot dogs on the plate and just cover it with heaps and heaps of ground beef chili and eat it like that. It is delicious. The third thing we do a lot is our chicken alfredo. This is the most savory, filling comfort food in the whole wide world. It is so delicious. And what we do is we usually just get chicken thighs, something with a good, fatty meat, especially when you're doing chicken. So my husband will put those on the grill with just a little bit of Italian seasoning. And then I will make this very, very rich and savory Alfredo sauce. It takes just a few minutes. It's cream cheese, garlic, butter, some seasonings, and heavy whipping cream. And you just combine it all in a pot, let it cook, and then you add in some Parmesan cheese, and then we will smother the chicken in this Alfredo sauce. It is so delicious. It's so yummy. It's very, very rich, and so just having a few pieces, like a few chicken thighs, and then a big old heap of the sauce on top of it, so good every time. So that is definitely a favorite. Next we do, of course, like you saw today, a lot of steak. Steak is expensive, especially for a family of 6, so we don't do it as often as we'd like to. Honestly, our family could eat steak every single day, but we don't have the money for that. So at least once a week or once every other week, big juicy steaks, that's what we go for. A cheaper cut would be doing something like a London broil. I love doing that in the air fryer. That's really easy and a lot more just affordable when it comes to feeding a big family. But gotta go with some good medium rare steak in there. We have some kids that will do a tiny bit of A1 sauce. Some people in this household cannot kick their A1 habit, so we just make sure to do it in very strict moderation. Next, something that we do very often, at least a couple times a week, would be a chicken leg. So that's just getting chicken legs. Again, we put them on the grill with a little bit of seasoning, Himalayan salt on everything I've referenced. I always put Himalayan salt, and whatever herbs, spices that we want to put on the chicken legs. And then we do have a very low sugar, or we get a no sugar barbecue sauce, and again in moderation to have a little bit of flavoring there with the barbecue sauce, whether you're putting it on while it cooks or just using it for a little bit of dipping. Definitely love just doing chicken legs. Our kids, that's their favorite way to eat chicken. And the last thing that I will share is we make taco bowls. This is such a fun way to do it. We do a lot of ground beef and just taco seasoning, make up a big pot of taco meat, and then we do whatever toppings people want. So if lettuce is working, you're kind of more on the Ketovore side, lettuce doesn't bother you, lettuce, cilantro, we do lots of cilantro, maybe a little bit of salsa, some cheese, sour cream, and sometimes those of us that are Ketovore will kind of maybe do a little bit of tortilla chip just to give us a little bit of crunch in there. But taco bowls are a great and easy way to make up a big, easy dinner for everyone. Basically, you just take your favorite foods that you already like eating and just remove whatever the plant-based materials are that go with them, especially grains and things like that we try to stay away from as they are so inflammatory. But these would be, especially here lately, our top go-to meals, just to give you a little bit of an idea. So that was 24 hours of carnivore, ketovore eating with me, especially when dealing with ADHD and trying to fuel our body in a way that will set us up to truly thrive in our season of life. Hopefully that's been a help for you guys. If you have more carnivore questions, be sure to leave me a question down below. Put a little steak emoji next to it so that way I know that you want your question answered in maybe one of our next Saturday Q&As. Otherwise, let me get you guys some more videos that I think you'll enjoy. Bye, friends.